What's wrong with that, Mutt? What do you mean I'm doing out there? What? All right, I'm going to be on in a minute, so you guys can't be yelling. All you all. You're not funny. We're gonna get started. It's already 7:30, and I have two of my college sons home. So if it gets loud, they might be punching and fighting in the background. I don't know. I give up. They've been here since Thursday, Wednesday, I think. Yeah, they came home for the weekend, long weekend from Cincinnati. So they still won't leave the house either. No matter what we do, they stay.
I'm sure you don't want them to go.
All right, so let's get back to today. We finished our sweet tooth challenge. So those of you that had zero, you get two extra bonus points. So make sure your coaches don't forget that, okay? Don't forget to send it in to your coaches either if you haven't. I have mine ready to go for tonight. I have my jar of Jelly Bellies that you can't really see because of the camera, but there it is. It's almost gone too. I have to get another one from Costco. But yeah, I'll be breaking those out tonight. But since the coaches didn't count, I've probably been eating them all night, so it hasn't been that hard for us, the coaches, so to speak. But anyway, that's over tonight, and we have a new one starting up. This will be an interesting one. We did this before. We're going to do this one again. We did this, I think, in our Strava challenges when we were doing the spring. Kind of keep people motivated and out the door. Same thing here. These challenges, these team challenges, you know, whether your team's winning or in last place or whatever, these are also motivation for you guys, whether it be a physical challenge or something else, dietary challenge or lifestyle challenge. You know, this is still something to challenge you to see you guys getting involved in. So make sure you are still doing that. Okay. You know, jump in, whether you're winning or not, it's a good thing to do. It's a healthy thing to do. It's a productive thing to do. So there's no reason why you can't be in on all that. Okay. So it's not that difficult. This week will be interesting. I have it up here. Calling this one Ticket to Run, like Ticket to Ride. Again, going off the Beatles songs. So we got Ticket to Run here, which this is basically consistency. Since we're coming up on week 9, we got 14 weeks total, so we're getting into the thick of it right now. This challenge is gonna kind of remind you to make sure you're getting out the door for your runs. Now, most of you, except for the novice plan, are supposed to be out 5 times during the week. Whether it be running, run walking for some of the novice people, whatever the case is. The idea now is that each time you go out and do your run, walk, whatever it is, it's this time it isn't going to be how many miles you covered. It's going to be, did you get that done? Did you do something on one of your days? And if you do miss a day, the good thing is with having 5 days, you have 2 days in there that you can make up and use as a training day. So if you did miss like an easy run tomorrow, you missed tomorrow's run, you could still do it on Wednesday or Sunday. I think those are most of the days that we have off. So you can always do that. You can throw it in there. So you still have makeup days in there, but we're only going to count 5 activities, 5 running, walking activities. Cycling doesn't count, yoga, swimming, whatever. None of that counts. Since this is a training group activity, we want to make sure it's running or walking of some sort. Okay. So those 5 activities. Now, let's say, Tuesday is, we're doing a hill workout this week. We're going to go back to Monument Hill. And for those that aren't going to Monument Hill, because you're doing online training or you're going to miss it. This is going to be a 1,200 meter loop this time. It's not going to be a mile loop. So you're going to want to find a loop that's about 3/4 of a mile or 1,200 meters. And hopefully that has a good hill in it if you can, or maybe some rolling hills if you're not going to be with us. Whatever the case may be, just some hills would be great for this workout. So that's what we're doing. But let's say Tuesday, someone can't make it and they're short on time and they're with us running and they can only do 2 of the hills instead of, I think we have 4 we're doing. Well, that's fine. That's fine. It still counts as your day doing something. You did something. So whether you're able to do the full workout that day or not, the point of this challenge is to motivate you to at least get out the door. Okay. So like today it was raining. If that happened to be tomorrow and you have a 5 mile, I think it's a 4 or 6 mile run or 35-minute run, you go out tomorrow and you only get in 3 miles because it's pouring rain and you're soaking wet and you're sick of it. It still counts. It's a good day. Okay. We're not counting mileage this time. We're just counting the idea of you getting out the door and doing something. So you can get up to 5 points because there are 5 days to do it. Now, as my brilliant wife has pointed out, the novice plan only has 4 days. So don't worry, I will make it adjust it so it reflects that you would be doing 5 days. Okay. So I will do the math on that to make sure you're given props for getting out there. Okay. And I have all the rules here. It's already up on Training Tilt in the files, my file, the shared file section, but you can see that there. You can see all that, the rules in there. The only main thing, I guess, is that if you do, we're not going to give you more than 5 days. We don't want, obviously, these are motivational challenges, not challenges to get you hurt. So we're not going to let you go past our normal training, okay? Because that just wouldn't be helpful. All right? So just keep that in mind. That'd probably be the main rule that you'd want to look out for is that. Other than that, you can get up to 5 points since there's 5 training days. You can make up one of the days if you miss one on one of the rest days. That's fine too. And it can only be run walk. Okay, since this is obviously a running walking type program, not a biking or swimming or anything like that. It's not that it's not bad. Please do that. Keep up the outside training, but that's fine. Cross training as they call it. Okay. And that's in the file section. If you have questions, ask coaches or myself and we'll clear them up. But that's already in. I've already uploaded that into Training Tilt. As I uploaded also, if you look, I'm using Sean's profile here. If you look though, I also uploaded the track and long run schedule again and here's this week's, it's called consistency. I call it a consistency challenge because it is. It's about getting out the door and being consistent in your training. And that's what we're trying to focus on this week then. Now the track long run schedule I updated to reflect, as I will show you here, the 24th. October 24th, we will be at Racing for Recovery. So that's why all of the meeting locations are taken off the spreadsheet here. Because just to remind you that day, we are moving our long run to Racing for Recovery. So the long run we won't be doing as a group, we will be at Racing for Recovery. So if you are doing your long run that day and you're not going to the race, you'll be on your own unless your coach doesn't happen to be going and is looking for people to do a long run with too. That's one great thing about the training group. You're usually not the only one not going to a race in your team or your group on a certain day. So you can always find someone to hook up with if you need to get that run in and you're not going to the race. So by all means do that. But the MIT group will be going to the race. So that will be kind of our last goal race before we get to the very end with Churchill's. Still haven't had a final decision on Churchill's. It's looking up each week, so it's looking like it's going to happen. So I'm keeping hopeful. But that will be our last official. The Racing for Recovery will be kind of our last, kind of shoot for race until we get to the last culminating race, Churchill's. So that's updated too on Training Tilt. And I'll probably send it out tomorrow in an email just to make sure everyone knows it's been updated because, if they're not on the call here, the Zoom call or watch the video, they won't know it's been updated. So I'll probably send it in an email too, just to make sure everyone has it available. So just remember that. That will be the 24th. We'll still be running long this weekend. We'll still be going long next weekend. It's 3 weeks from yesterday is when we'll be gone. And speaking of that, the long runs are beginning to creep up, probably past normal half marathon training that a lot of you might be accustomed to. This week would have been the first week that does that. 12 miles is about where we get to, 11, 12 miles in a half marathon program. But now we're going to up the ante a little. And as I've explained, just want to reiterate that we're doing this to kind of, since there hasn't been a lot of racing or we haven't been able to get out a lot and do any racing, we're kind of looking at the long run as a type of race weekend for us where we can work on our long runs and not worry about being too fatigued for all these races coming up. So we can now step back a little and focus on training somewhat. And again, if you don't want to go that far, you can always cut it back. You can always cut it back a little bit because the coaches have been doing loops. So we can always cut it back a little and you can do your 12 or 11 that you want to do. That's up to you. Okay. Now, now we got questions also about a couple things about our meeting times. Track is officially, we will not be meeting at Perrysburg track any longer because we are doing the hill workout this week. So we wouldn't be meeting there this week. And those of you at the track have noticed we're getting close to dusk when we're walking out of there. So I'm thinking in another week after this week, it's going to be really dark when we get around 7:30. So we're cutting the track out. We usually have to around October. So we will now be meeting at Fallen Timbers on your track day, same day. If you were Tuesdays, you're sticking to Tuesdays. If you were Thursdays, you're sticking to Thursdays. It'll be the same day, but now it'll be at Fallen Timbers, and we'll use the big road around Fallen Timbers in the areas that we use there. So we'll be there for that week because it's lit. Even when it gets dark, there's lights out there. We have plenty of room, plenty of parking, bathroom. I think they've had their bathrooms open lately, correct? I'm pretty sure they have because when we've been meeting there, people have been going to the restrooms in the evenings. So that's another good point. We will have restroom access there too. Now, Saturday long runs, I noticed this weekend, we're kind of getting to the point where it's a little dark when we meet. And I think we'll be okay this Saturday. But next Saturday, we're going to move to, well, not, I don't mean this Saturday. I mean the Saturday coming up, we should be okay, which would be the 10th. So my concern is the week after, I'm not thinking, and I don't think we can make it till the fallback happens because that doesn't happen until Halloween. So there's no way I think it'll be dark. And my concern is parks not opening up because they won't open up until there's at least some light out. A lot of them won't. It may say 7 on the park signs, but it doesn't happen at 7 when it's dark at 7. They won't open. They usually won't open until dark, until it's at least a little bit of sun. So after the 10th, after this weekend coming up, we're going to switch to 8 a.m. Saturday morning times. And I'll include it in the email. I'll put it on Training Tilt. I'll remind everyone next weekend again. I just want to get it out there so we can start getting that going, that on the 17th is when we will officially move to 8 a.m. Okay. The 10th will still go 7:30 this upcoming week because I want to give people plenty of time to adjust schedules. So we will wait a week. And then the 17th is when we will start meeting at 8 a.m. Okay. So we'll start spreading the word. The 17th is when we'll meet at 8 a.m. And I'll make sure to keep hammering on that. I'll put it on our training page and Dave's. I'll put it in Training Tilt. I'll put it in the email that goes out to everybody. Coaches will be reminding you, and I'll be reminding the coaches. So I think by the time we get to that weekend, everyone should be notified. That should give us plenty of time. Okay. I'm still bringing sweatshirts. I'll have them at Fallen Timbers. I'm at Fallen Timbers Tuesday, Thursday this week, and I'll have them for one more week. So once we get through the next 2 weeks, then the sweatshirts will all be at the Sylvania store. I will have them in a bag with your name on it if you've never picked it up yet. Okay, but I'll still have them at the track, and I'll still bring the Pacesetter Park for the groups I meet at Pacesetter. Okay, if I would bring in the Racing for Recovery, but it's just too difficult to go back and forth from my car to get sweatshirts for random people that come up to me and say they need a sweatshirt. So we won't do it at Racing for Recovery, but what I'll do is I'll put them in the store after next week, after not this week coming up, but the following week. So probably the beginning of the week of the 18th, 19th, whatever that, after that week, beginning of the 20th, they'll be in the Sylvania store. And those of you that are doing online training that aren't doing, in-person training. Yours were mailed out. And as I said, if you don't see it on your door in your mailbox Monday or somewhere, let me know so I can start looking into it. I don't want to wait too long and then find out they've been held up somewhere. Mail's been running better, but I'm not completely sure how well it's doing. Okay. So those are some announcements to keep in mind. Just want to make sure that all of that's situated. And as you see, Racing for Recovery is the 24th. I think this weekend, those of you that are running the McQueen's 5K or 10K, there were 75 10K spots left like Friday night. I don't know how many are left, but I'm sure it's going to be a little less than that now, obviously. So if you want to register, only the 10Ks left, not the 5K anymore. So you want to do that soon. Hopefully, I know the shirt cutoff has already passed. They do order a few extras, so they'll let you know when you register how you can go about doing that. They usually don't. You usually can't get an extra shirt until the day of the race. But with COVID, I don't know how they're doing it now because they don't have. I don't think they have race day packet pickup anymore. So it might be 48 spots left. Thank you. 48 spots left for the 10K. Emma has given us the count, and I like that. So it's already down to 48. It'll probably fill up. It'll be close. So if you haven't signed up and you're on the fence, I'd make a decision in the next day or so if you're going to run that 10K. If not, don't wait too long for Racing for Recovery. It's a hugely popular race in this area. Tons of people do it. It went really well last year in Rossford. It's going to go off again in Rossford. So I would definitely sign up sooner than later. Okay. And you should be okay there too. What else? Good. Those are all the main announcements. Now to this week coming up. So you've already heard we're going to be hitting the hill. This time I'm showing you the map a little bit more so you can kind of see how this one's going to work. Okay. So you should be able to see the map of the hill on your screen. This, everyone hopefully can see my little arrow. This right here is the hill, this area right here. This is the backside. You can see the finish, the red marker where the finish is. That's where you finished last time when we did the mile repeats. So this time you would go down the hill, the real steep hill this time again, but the start is not right there where you can see my little marker. The start marker is where the one grass trail dead ends into it. Okay. And you're going to start there, right there at that intersection where the grass trail dead ends into the other grass trail. And you're going to head out, heading south around the grass loop. The good thing is, and Jennifer will be very happy, you're only on the grass loop this time for about a quarter mile most. Okay. Maybe even a little less, because right here is where you hop on the bike path. So you're kind of going the opposite way this time. You're not going this way, okay, clockwise. You're going counterclockwise now. You're going to go that way and then up the hill. This is all bike path right here. So this goes all the way up the hill, all the way up. You're going to do the interval all the way this time to here again. And you can see on here it's 0.75, roughly 1,200 meters. I probably won't wheel it off because I'm pretty confident this is really close. We've done it before, but I will have the signs up in there. We'll be close enough that we'll count it as 1,200 meters. Okay. So just want to make sure that everyone is all set with the course, and I'll go over it again Tuesday and Thursday, but just that way you can see a visual and kind of prepare for it. Coaches especially too, they like to know ahead of time, and sometimes I'm slow on the draw with them. So that way they can prepare a little bit, but it's very similar to the last time we were there. We're just going counterclockwise and cutting off like this part right here. You can tell that you ran twice. If you remember, you kind of started right here at this base where the marker is and ran that way twice. You went around and did it again and then went up. This time, no, counterclockwise and up the hill. It's a quick shoot. So it's 400 meters less, but we're supposed to go a little faster because it's interval pace, but you get a little more rest. That's why this will be a little bit more of a jog. You could probably walk down the hill and then jog up to the line. That will keep you actively moving because remember, when we get to 2-minute rest, I like active recovery. I don't like people standing around for 2 minutes. Things begin to tighten up, blood begins to pool up. We want to keep that blood moving and we want to keep those legs moving. So once we get to 2 minutes, it's active recovery, meaning walk, shuffle, just keep that body moving. Okay. Um, if you're doing McQueen's, should you do racing for recovery also? I would do at this point, now that we're getting close to Churchill's and hopefully Churchill's will go off, I would pick one or the other race. You know, some people like to race more and that's fine. But me personally, I advise training's always better. Training's always good because it makes you a stronger and better runner. Racing's good too to see what you're doing, how you're progressing. Um, and if you want to do both because you like to race, I'm not going to tell you no, that's fine. But, you know, taking away too long runs as we get closer to the race, that's not a good thing either sometimes. That can mess up your long run. If you want to take one as like a longer, like do the 10K and then keep going afterwards to get a little bit of a longer run in, that's a good idea because now you're doing a little bit of both. But just be careful. I would, this time around, I don't think it's a bad idea if you want to race a little more because we had so few races. So I don't mind it. I just tell people to stay away from that like every weekend, every other weekend of racing, because you only have so many good races in you. That's my belief. I believe that strongly. When you're in a training cycle, you have only so many good races in you, and you can't be pounding like that on your body. Expect a full effort each weekend in and out. So it's up to you. We haven't raced much. I don't think it'll kill you if you race both, but I don't think it's necessary to race both either. Let's put it that way. So I'm kind of on the fence on that one. If we were had a full docket of races going and people were racing, you know, this race this week and this race that week, and then I would start telling you to maybe pull back a little. But with so few races, you know, I understand people want to get out there a little more, and so I'm not against it. Just use your caution. Use caution. Just use your head. Okay. If you're new to the racing scene, don't go crazy racing. Let's put it that way. That would make a little more sense. But some of you are veterans and can handle a little better. That's fine too. Okay, but that'll be the course for this week for the hill work. All right. Now, as we get to the schedule, you will see a couple things. Everyone's moving up. This is going to be a pretty big week. If you haven't noticed, these next couple weeks, these are kind of our big weeks coming up, and then we kind of get ready for the race. All right. You can see here the intermediate plan. We're bumping up to 14. Again, if it's too much for you for the half, you don't want to go that far, you can always cut back several miles if you need to. The tempo is beginning to get up there. We're going to begin focusing on a tempo a little more. You can see that. We're really working on these tempos here now as we get closer to the race. We still have a fartlek in there, but you can see most of the weeks are going to be tempo type workouts. So we can start beginning to focus on that half marathon. And so this week you have 8 miles is the regular plan with 2 through 7. And now we're getting to the point where the tempos are getting so long that the time's becoming an issue for some of the paces. So we also have to be aware of, we don't want you out there turning this into another long run. So we want 2 through 7, which is 6 miles at tempo pace, or 75 minutes, whichever comes first. So that's about 12 and a half minute miles, I would say. So if you're over 12 and a half minute miles for your tempo run, which you would probably be in the open pace group, because our training paces stop at around 12. So you would probably be in the open pace group and you're not really doing the tempo anyway, so it's not an issue. But some of you that might be in that last pace group before open pace might be at the edge of that 12-minute to 12:30 pace. So pay attention when you're out there for your tempo. Don't go past 75 minutes. We don't want to do too much, that on that tempo run. 75 minutes is plenty. The advanced plan has you going 1 more mile at tempo. Still 75 minutes because I don't want people working out longer than 75 minutes. But if you're doing the advanced plan, you're going to do an extra mile of tempo if that pace can handle it. So if your pace will get you at 75 minutes, you'll do 7 miles at tempo pace. As you can see here, let me bring that one up. Yeah, you can see you're 2 through 8. So you're still doing 8 miles overall. You're just really not doing a whole mile cool down. You would run the last mile still tempo and then maybe do a couple minutes, kind of let the legs shake out a little. Okay, so that's the only difference there. And you can see here the intermediate plan, which is the main plan, still doing 4 miles there, still resting Wednesday, still doing 4 miles Monday, but that's being bumped up a couple miles, and the long run's going up a mile. And this will be, this will be a good 5 mile workout too. So that should take you to 36 miles. So that will move you up to 36, get you close to 40, and 40 is our goal for intermediate. Okay, advanced, again, you're 6 miles and you're 6 miles there. Those are the two runs that are going to bump you up. Your Tuesday workout, hill workout is the same as everybody else. And then you're just adding that extra tempo mile, still not an extra mile overall. You're still only at 8. Your mileage, you're getting the extra mileage from your Monday, Friday run. Okay. And then our novice plan, oh, it's way over here. Sorry. See, our novice plan then, we don't have the tempo. So if you're over 12-minute pace, you don't have to worry about that. You're worrying about getting in a longer 45-minute run on that day. Some of you should be getting close to 4 or 5. Some of you might be getting close to 4 miles on that one. Okay, which is good for that long run. And then you're doing 3 of those loops on the hill, 2 minutes rest. Your pace is a little easier. Okay, but you're doing 3 minutes, 3 loops, 1 less than everyone else this time, not 2. So this is going to be a little bit more for you guys. Okay, and then your long run's going up to 9 this weekend. So everyone's moving up slowly but surely. Our novice plan, we're getting you to 11 so you can get to that half distance. But the rest of you, we're going to start going over. But again, if you don't want to, you can always cut back a little. That's fine. We'll work with you on that. Now let's see. Let's make sure here. Do we have any? If people are running McQueen's on Sunday, what is the recommended mileage for Saturday? That's a good question too. I'm going to go right here to this plan. If you are going to run McQueen's, but you do want to get a run in on Saturday, like a little shakeout run with your team, I would say you would be safe to do 6 miles or so and be okay, 5 to 6 miles in that range, and still be able to come back on Sunday and run the race if you wanted to. That's fine if you want to get a shakeout run in. But maybe I would take Friday off then and take Friday as a rest day. That would be easier. You don't want to, and you don't want to take 2 rest days in a row. So whether you do a shakeout run or not on Saturday with your team, don't do 2 rest days and race Sunday. Because obviously if you're racing Sunday, that plan is now going to be changed, your plan. So now you have a day of running on Sunday. So that is either going to be your Friday or Saturday, all right? So don't sit here and go rest, and then race, all right? Make sure if you rest, pick one of the 2 days. If you want my opinion, I always think it's better to run the day before a race and rest 2 days before a race than rest the day before a race. Call me crazy. I always felt better going out the day before a run and run a nice, easy shakeout run. Get the distance in, nice and easy, stretch, feel good about it, and then get ready to race. If I run the 2 days out, like on Friday, and then rest the day before a race, I usually feel tired and flat. And I kind of feel off because I didn't run the day before. Like I go to a race and I didn't run the day before it, I always would feel off. So if I ever needed to rest, I would always rest 2 days out from the race. Like before a marathon, I would always rest like 2 days out before a race and then run like even a little shakeout run the day before. So that's always a good idea. You can run on Friday, like Chelsea is asking to make Saturday a cross training day. Absolutely. Some people do their long run, will do a longer run on Friday and then rest Saturday and race Sunday. It's up to you. But like I said, I would avoid putting back-to-back rest days together. And my advice, I always like to run the day before the race, a little shakeout run. It's your personal preference. Maybe you like to rest the day before a race. It works out better for you and you want to run Friday. That's fine. To each his own. I'm just telling you what worked for me a lot. Experiment if you've never done it before. Maybe try this one way and try it another way a different day when you have a race. But definitely don't. Some people might want to train through the race and run long on Saturday and try to race Sunday. Be careful with that too. That's a long run. That's 14 miles. It's no joke. My advice to you would be maybe do that on Thursday and then rest Saturday. That would be my advice if you're going to do that. Because you would need that rest day, I think, to help you recover. So think of it that way. But then you'd be on your own too. So that'd be a little tricky. Okay, there are all kinds of options. The main option, a lot of people make the race at tempo. Yes, I mean, I think all of these races are kind of markers for us. Whether you want to take it as a full-on race Whether you want to take it as a tempo run, whether you want to treat it as some type of workout, that's fine too. That's completely up to you. We always, let you guys be the judge of where you want to be on this. And usually if you do take it as a workout, then then you can manipulate mileage in there. You can throw in maybe a couple mile cool down, couple mile warm up. If you do the 10K, then you're at 10 miles. So you still got a decent day in. You don't have to work your way all the way to 14, but 2 mile warm up, 2 mile cool down gives you 10 miles in a 10K. Gives you 7 miles in a 5K. That's still a decent run for the weekend. And that'll help too. All of those things are all viable options. Your coaches are all smart people and can help you work through this too. I'm just throwing different ideas out there for everybody. But some people have something that works better for them than others. And so stick to that. Definitely stick what works with you, what works for you. And questions will always answer. If you're not sure, email me, talk to your coaches. We can help you. Okay. And those weekends are always tricky when the race falls on a Sunday because everyone's used to Saturday long runs. And that's the good thing. That's why we like to go to the remote when we have a Saturday race. We like to go to that, the whole group, because then it gets complicated with trying to do long runs and racing on the same day. So that's why we move then. Any questions? Other questions with that? With the weekend coming up like that? I know it gets a little crazy, hectic with that. Okay, but yeah, all of those things are good. Those are good questions. Thanks, Herman, for that question. The tempo idea. So whether you do that as a workout, that's fine. Okay. So we got a good week coming up, and as you can see, the next 3 weeks, this week's and the next 2 after that, are going to be pretty solid training weeks. All right. So bring your A game, and that's what we're going to do this week. We're going to see how consistent we are with our training, getting out those 5 times or 4 times for the novice plan. Sound like a plan, everybody? All right. Cool beans. Okay. So we'll see you Tuesday at Fallen Timbers this time. Still 6:30 Tuesday, and then long run still 7:30 on Saturday. Okay. Everything then changes next week. We meet at Fallen Timbers instead of the track all the time, and we meet at 8 o'clock for the long run all the time. Okay. So that should help you there. All right. Okay. See everyone later. Have a good week. Stay out of trouble. No one get wound up in jail. I'd appreciate that. Keep doing what you're doing. All right.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank
Thanks.
you
See ya.
guys.
Thanks.
All right.